So this is the M5 subframe. You can see here the bracketry in place for adjusting the rear caster camber toe and the lower control arm. And it's also got the same configuration on the opposite side. Looking at the one off of the 540i, you can see it's just got this little bump right there for doing that same thing. So obviously the one for the M5 is a bit more robust. Even more importantly, my bolts are a bigger diameter than that slot, so I can't get the bolt through. Were I to, say, grind that hole bigger, I still can't fit that caster camber adjustment mechanism in that gap. I've got to use this much more robust setup here. So because of that, I had to get the bracket welded, which you can see the welding here, and the bushing is in pretty good shape. I was worried about the heat and having to replace that, but that came through all right. And you can see here as well. And when I get in the car, I'll show you the other end from the bottom. We've got a pretty good weld, so that is looking good. So now we're going to go through the process of taking off the new replacement frame. All I've got it is bolted to the carrier right now, so I got 3 bolts here in place and the one in front right there. And then that'll take this new subframe off, and then I can put the original back in place. So now we're going to connect the lower control arms. So this bolt for the rear, there's a similar one on the front, and then both sides, and then making it through. So we've got these keyed spacers. Which, if you can see that, which ensures correct alignment to the bolt, because the other side of the bolt has the eccentric. So as you turn this, it adjusts the position of the lower control arm, and thus affecting the caster camber toe. So I'm using this good old trusty big ass Craftsman screwdriver to align to get the bolt in from the front side. There we go. So after a little persuasion, I was able to get this bolt through, which consisted of actually rotating that eccentric bolt so it lined up properly, then tapped it through, and then hand tightening the nut here, and then using the drift pin and adjusting the angle of the control arm, I was able to get this rear one through, excuse me, actually the front one, rear one to the camera, and have the tabbed nut in place, and that also tightened in place. Not snug, but hand tightened. And now we're going to do the 2 control arms. So the front one here has the eccentric again, and these bolts go from inside forward reassembly. I've got that in the slot. And then let's get the cam nut in place. The cam washer. And then there's the nut for that one. This control arm. And the bolt from rear to front. And there we go. Hand tightened. I'll do the same thing on the other side, and we'll be back to tie up the sway arm. Now on the M5, there's a sensor. I don't know what it's for. It was not on the subframe from the 540. But you've got this plate that goes in the back with the bolt on it. And it's got a pin for adjustment. And that, I believe, is a little 10mm. And you can see I've got the control arm bolts in. You can see the cam with the eccentric washer for the alignment. Once this is all put back together and in the car, I'll go to the alignment shop and they'll realign the whole car. So next is the sway bar brackets. So I've been playing with this and figured out the best way to get this in. Just put the bracket over the bushing, bring it up, hit both sides, you get that tab in the notch, slide it down into place. Take it over to get that into position, put the nut on the back side, hand tighten. We'll repeat on the other side. And there we go. And now the last step, tighten up all my bolts, and then this will be ready to put back into the car.